Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to walk you through my personal setup for managing my development environment. We'll talk about Dotfiles, Window Manager, Neovim, my status bar, and how I navigate using Vim Motions in Brave. Okay, so let's get started. All my Dotfiles are managed using Stow. If you haven't heard of Stow before, it's a utility that helps you manage your environment configuration by keeping everything in a single place and using symbolic links to sync your files across your system. So here is how I set it up. I have a .files directory. We can get inside it. So inside it, I organize my configuration into separate folders. This is how they are going to be linked to your system. To apply them, I just run stow dot, and this will automatically link my Neovim and all of the other configurations inside their right place. This makes syncing my setup across multiple machines incredibly easy. For window management and status bar configuration, I used Jose Martinez tutorials. They are amazing resources for learning to set up your environment, and I recommend checking them out for more information. Now let's talk about how I manage my windows efficiently. So I use Yabai for window management, Skhd for custom key bindings, and Hammerspoon to toggle these tools on and off when needed. Yabai makes macOS like a proper tiling window management. With a simple command like the one on the screen, I can cycle through my open windows with ease. To make life easier, I use Skhd to bind my most used Yabai commands to hotkeys, so I never have to type them manually. And finally, Hammerspoon lets me toggle my window manager on and off. It's super useful when I want to switch between work mode and casual mode with just a key binding. Now, onto my status bar. I use SketchyBar to keep track of the important system stats like CPU usage and battery. It also integrates nicely with my Yabai setup, giving me an overview of how I laid out my windows. For Neovim, I used Primogen's repository as a base and moved to Lazy, added debugging DAP plugin and some new different plugins that made the editor my own and suit my needs. I use Neovim as my main editor, and it's customized heavily with plugins to boost my productivity. Some of the go-to plugins that I use include Telescope, 3-seater LSP, and WhichKey. If you are wondering how I keep track of all the key bindings and the commands, I use WhichKey to remind me of all of the available shortcuts dynamically. It's a lifesaver for beginners, and I really recommend using it if the only drawback keeping you from using Neovim is not being able to remember all the commands. I'm a really big fan of Vim Motion, so naturally I use Vimium in my Brave browser. This allows me to navigate web pages completely with my keyboard. I can use F to highlight all the clickable elements, JK to scroll, and slash to search, or capital T for searching through my tabs. It's definitely one of the most entertaining thing I learned when setting up my environment a few months ago. When I need the more traditional ID, I use VS Code. I've got it configured with Vim key bindings, so the transition from Neovim is seamless. This is not sponsored, but for AI work, I use RunPod. It's a cloud-based environment that lets me train the models on powerful GPUs without breaking the bank. I plan to use the SSH in VS Code for integration with RunPod, so stay tuned for more content about that. And that's most of my setup. If you find this useful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Let me know in the comments how you manage your workflow, always looking to improve my setup too. So see you in the next one.